friends, my name is Mailynn and welcome back to my channel. I'm a flutist, performer, and music teacher located in the city of Kamloops, British Columbia, and this is my channel where we learn all things flute, so thank you so much for joining me here today. In today's video, we're going to be learning the Australian National Anthem, Advanced Australia Fair, so if you're interested, then just keep on watching. As always, if you have any questions about the video, please feel free to drop them in the comment section down below. I do my best to answer them as soon as I see them. Also, if you have any issues when it comes to practicing, feel free to check out my free practice guide, also located in the description down below. It gives you 8 really easy steps to follow to help guide your practice sessions. Alright, so let's just get right into today's video. So I'm going to be taking the score here from 8notes.com, and it is going to be the soprano recorder, alto recorder duet. So if you're interested in looking at the original score, it's going to be located in the description down below. And of course, it's not sponsored or anything. I just really appreciate their musical library there. So I'm going to put up my transcription of the soprano recorder right over here. So it's going to be exactly the same kind of range as the flute. It does go down to the low C, so if you do feel like it is a little bit too low for you, you can always go up an octave. Just be careful that you will be playing the higher C there instead. Alright, so we're going to go through our first 6 starter bits before we get into clapping and counting, and then finally playing the piece. So number 1, we're going to be looking at our key signature. So we're going to look in between of our treble clef and our time signature to see if we have any accidentals there, and I don't see any. So that means you can either be in C major or its relative minor key, A minor. So we're going to take a look at the beginning note and the last note to see if we have the tonic of either of those key signatures. So we don't start on a C on the pickup bar. However, the first full bar of the piece does start on C and we do end on C. So that's a high indication that we are in C major. We'll just check to see if we do have any indication of the minor key in there. So how you find the minor key, just in case you need a reminder, you can either go up 6 letter names or 3 letter names from the major key. So I like to go down 3 letter names. So C, B, A. So that's how you know that A minor is the relative minor. And then you're going to look for either the raised 7th or the raised 6th. How you find that is you're going to go down 1 semitone from the tonic of the minor key. So A, if you go down 1 semitone, or you can go down 1 key on the keyboard, that would be G sharp, and then we'll also be looking for some F sharps as well. So at a quick glance, I don't see any G sharps or F sharps. We do have 1 F sharp in the second part, if that was something you're looking at, if you're looking at the original score there, but otherwise there's no other accidentals, so I would say we're in C major. Number 2, we're going to be looking at our time signature. So here we are in 4/4 time. So the top number tells us how many beats we have per measure. So we have 4 beats per measure, and then the bottom number tells us what note type those beats are. The 4 represents quarter notes. We have 4 quarter notes per measure. Number 3, we're going to be looking at our tempo indication. So here we have maestoso, and a quarter note equals approximately 80 beats per minute. So when I clap and count and play it on the flute, that is the final tempo that I will be playing at. Of course, when you are learning the piece for the first time, I would highly recommend slowing it down to a tempo where you are playing it very comfortably, first by clapping it, and then by playing it without doing any mistakes, or very few mistakes, and then slowly increasing it each day every time you come and practice the flute until you get it up to the final tempo. So that can take anyone maybe a few days, even to a week or 2 weeks or a month, and that is totally okay. It all depends on your goals and how you are able to practice. Number 4, we're going to be looking at our dynamics. So here we start at a forte. So the F stands forte, which is loudly. And then we don't have anything written until bar 8 or 9, depending on how I transcribe the piece. We have a mezzo forte there. And then we don't have another marking until we have the forte at bar 15 or 16. And then we come right down to piano. We have a beautiful huge crescendo to a double fortissimo with the note where we have the fermata, so that's that little rainbow with a dot in the middle, and then we end on a fortissimo, which is very loud. And then number 5, we're going to be looking at our articulation here. So we're going to see if we have any specific articulation like slurs, staccatos, or marcatos. And I don't see anything except the fermata at the end. So just to explain it again if you don't remember, I'm looking here at the third last bar of the piece. A fermata is the one with the rainbow and the dot in the middle. And that means you want to hold that note for longer than is written in duration. So I would like to do it generally a whole extra, or half the beat, original beat. So here you'd want to hold it for at least 1 quarter note and an 8th note. So it'd be 1.5 beats, but I would recommend also holding it for longer if that is what you'd like to do. And then number 6, we're going to be looking at our roadmap. So we're going to see if we have any repeats or da capos, and I don't see any, so that means we're going to be reading it from top to bottom. Okay, now we're going to get into clapping and counting the piece. Again, I am going to be doing this at a quarter note equals 80. Go back into the playback settings if you find that it is way too fast and match it up to a tempo where you're clapping along comfortably. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. However you want to hold that. 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3. Rest. All right, very good. So again, slow that down if you find that that's a little bit tricky. Just be careful when you're counting, especially the dotted quarters and eighth notes. So making sure that you count that fully correctly. You can either write it on top of the notes. So the dotted quarter is 1 and 2, and then the and of 2 goes on the eighth note. Alright, so now we're going to play it with the flute. Of course, if you aren't sure with any of the notes, make sure that you check with the description down below. It does have a fingering chart there, so you can check if you have the correct notes and the correct fingerings at the same time. So make sure you have that correct, and if you need to write any of them in, that's totally okay. There's no shame in writing in notes. 1, 2, 3. Very good. So just a few tips here before we end up the video. Again, with making sure that you're taking really nice deep breaths so that you can get the best tone possible. So every time you breathe, make sure it's almost like you're yawning, really opening up the back of your throat nice and quick so that you can get all the air down into your lungs so that you have lots of air to expel once you're playing those notes. You can always write in the breathing notes there as well by putting like a little check mark or a little apostrophe just so that you can have a frame of reference when it comes to breathing. Also, if you're having any difficulties with playing that low C, you can definitely put it up an octave to that other C there at the beginning of the bar. But if not, I would highly recommend really practicing your low, slow air, making sure it is nice and warm, and making sure that you have all your fingers down correctly to get that low C there. Alright, so that's just going to be it for today's video. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section down below. And if you have any issues, check out my free practice guide. Of course, if you like the video, please be sure to press the like button and to subscribe for more just like this. I want to thank you so much for joining me here today. I really appreciate you spending your time with me. And as always, happy fluting!